Hello and welcome to the Successful Garden Design Show. In this episode, designer Ali Conway is going to show you all the latest trends from the premier gardening event, the Chelsea Flower Show, that was held in London recently. Now, as a lot of the Chelsea gardens are relatively small, we thought we'd devote this entire episode to small space gardens. So we also have a roof terrace makeover and some ideas for balcony gardens. And I have a challenge for you. There's lots of things you can do to make a small garden look larger, but there's 3 things in particular that they did very well at this year's Chelsea Flower Show. See if you can spot what they are. If you're frustrated your garden doesn't look as beautiful as it could, even though you've purchased lots of lovely plants, then help is at hand. Plants are not enough. You have to have a good design layout. And when you combine design with the beauty of plants, that's when the magic really happens. It's our mission here at Successful Garden Design to show you how to do it, and it's much easier than you may think. I'm Rachel Mathews and I've been a professional international garden designer for over 25 years, and I teach garden design online.
This episode is coming to you from the Chelsea Flower Show. What a beautiful show it is this year. So excited to be showing you all the tips and tricks from the top designers, and we're starting here at Todd's Botanics at this beautiful display here. Beautiful colours showing through, the crimsons, the purples, the blues, and that pop of orange colour.
Lots of purple this year, lots of pink, lots of orange. And starting here with Chris Beardshaw's garden with lovely clipped formal hedging and this exuberant planting exploding within. What I love about this is the really smooth modern paving with those little bubble jets of water and this lovely mix of colours in amongst these tightly clipped hedge formality. Now if you want to take a little bit of Chelsea home, what about this as a garden for inspiration? This is the Breakthrough Cancer Garden and it's just divine. It's got lovely strong contrasts which we can take this home with us. Look at those dark pools that reflect back the white stems of the betula, and that's linked through to the very white creamy paving. Look also how the path wraps itself around these 2 water features and allows the exuberant planting in between. It's a tiny space, but it's beautifully designed. Yet another example of the use of a slate mulch here at Chelsea. This time, this is in the Pure Land Foundation Garden, and it works because of those zingy citrus colours. Just look at those lovely oranges, those lime greens, and those apricots. Just beautiful to shine out against the grey backdrop. And it's all mixed in, notice, with lovely soft grasses. Again, in the Urban Retreat Garden for Homebase, just look how this beautiful decking pathway leads the journey through the garden from left to right. It's got that lovely curve and meander. This is Charlie Albon's garden in memory of his father, and what a beautiful garden it is, really quite stunning. But what I'm intrigued by are these huge limestone paving stones that go across the path. He designed this pathway so that he could walk along it if he had his absent father with him and his children. So it's got quite a deep meaning, but just look how lovely those gravel infills allow the plants to sprawl in amongst the cracks and crevices and encroach on the paving. That's a lovely idea. Now here at Successful Garden Design, we're often asked how to create a modern, contemporary feel in a garden, and the answer is really quite simple. It's simple shapes, very clean, simple lines, and the use of clear-cut, clean-cut, simple materials. And this is a perfect example. It's a very tiny space. This could be any one of our back garden spaces, and it's just simply 2 lines of decking and a polished concrete surface. Now the Cloudy Bay Garden here, designed by the Rich brothers, is a perfect example of how materials can make the space look modern. The planting is very naturalistic with very soft grasses and perennials, But just look how they've combined natural hewn stone in the bottom of those benches with a contemporary, smooth, finished concrete top. Now this is the M&G show garden called The Retreat, and it's designed by Joe Thompson for M&G Investments. And I could hardly get close to this garden. It was absolutely packed with people trying to take a peek of this beautiful naturalistic style planting. Joe has used foxgloves and peonies and the lovely colour of that acer there, and it's all overhanging this beautiful dark body of water showing lovely reflections. She's used traditional materials for this garden. It's for an artist or a writer as a retreat to craft their piece, and she's used traditional materials and traditional planting. What a lovely garden. So I do hope you've enjoyed my whistle-stop tour of the Chelsea Flower Show 2015. I only wish that we could show you all of it. There is so much to see here, so much to take in, and so many beautiful ideas and beautiful designs. All I can say is you must come and see for yourself next year.
So, did you spot the tricks those cunning designers used at Chelsea to make the spaces look larger? Well, the first trick they used was to use curved paths that snaked their way through the garden. So what your eye does is it follows that path round rather than just looking straight down the space, which makes it look so much larger. And by snaking the path round the corner, you can't see everything, so your mind automatically thinks that there's more going round the corner, which makes the space feel larger. Another trick the designers used very successfully was to put in large planting. They weren't scared to put in trees in relatively small spaces. And again, that plays with your mind a little bit because you're used to seeing trees in big spaces, so you automatically assume, oh right, okay, the space is big because there's lots of trees. And also the vertical element of the tree, having something that draws your eye up. So again, that prevents you from looking straight down to the very end of the garden, which makes the space look larger. And finally, what the designers did very successfully is using various methods, mostly with planting, they blocked you from seeing the entire garden in one go. So stopping your eyes immediately reaching the end of the garden is a great way to make any space look larger. Now, to save people writing in, I always get it in the neck whenever I refer to anything as small because everyone has a completely different opinion on what small is. Now, I started off doing country gardens and, most of them were like half an acre and larger. So to me, a 10-metre garden is quite small. But obviously, if you've lived in an urban environment, then 10 metres is pretty darn huge. So I'll say relatively small, just to be on the safe side. But anyway, if you would like some help with designing your garden, we've put together a great course that's like a miniature version of the Great Garden Formula, but it covers all the key things you need to know in order to design different sizes and shape gardens. Now, the focus is on the small gardens, but we'll show you how to design wide gardens, long gardens, awkward shaped gardens, and yes, there are some very tiny gardens in there, as well as up to, say, medium-sized gardens. So the focus, as I say, is mostly on small, but we do cover a variety of things that will enable you to come up with a stunning design. So to find out all the details about the course, head over to smallgardenformula.com and then you can see exactly what's in. There's 5 main modules that walk you through everything you need to do step by step. There's video tutorials and there's also access to the survey course, which will enable you to make sure you get everything on paper correctly, and that's the vital first stage in planning a garden. So I'm here at my friend Jane's house and she's got this beautiful roof terrace garden, and although it's already really cute and lovely, she wants to make a few improvements. So Jane, what are the bits that you're not happy about? You sort of mentioned this corner you're feeling is a little bit...
Yes, this plant here it's just been there for a long time and it's not really adding a lot. This is just sort of storage, and again, it gives a bit of colour, but I feel this area could be improved a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also got a corner over the other side, which is just a bit of a glory hole. I store pots and watering cans and brooms and things, which I'd like really, yes, to be, all that stuff could be out of sight. I feel that would improve it a bit.
Yeah, certainly here you can see that a lot. And I mean, do you get to sit at the table much?
Not really, no. To be perfectly
Okay.
honest, I tend to sit in the other corner out the side,
Okay.
looking at my lovely plants.
Yes. So really the most important view then is going to be from the bedroom and then from here when you're lying down.
Yeah.
Okay. So you may initially think with a garden like this there's not a great deal you can do because the walls are already in place, the patio tiles are down, but it's really how you arrange the space that makes a difference. You can still arrange the plants, even though they're in pots, you can still arrange things in a way that makes the flow of the space better and visually more appealing. Now, as you're going to be sitting here the majority of time, this makes sense to have almost a clearing of space here so that you can see through, and I think I would put something like a mirror or some illusion trellis so that you've got something to look at. And if you angle the trellis and the mirror rather, if you angle that mirror, then you can decide what it reflects back. So you've got a really pretty grouping of planting here. So if you angled your mirror so that that was seen back into it, that's going to make this space, one, feel a lot larger, but it also give you more interest, and it will save you having to turn your head when you're lying on the sun lounger. You can just see it all. So yeah, that would be my first point of call, is clear a little bit of space here. Now, with this storage unit, although it's a really good one, it's not the most attractive feature in the garden. So if we move that round over here, we can help screen the satellite dish and maybe have some trellis behind it for a bit more. So then you've got easy access to the storage, and it's doubling up, it's doing a job of screening that little corner that you don't want to be looking at. If we can do something, either have some wall art or, as I said, the mirror. Actually, yeah, wouldn't have to be a mirror there, but I think it would look good. So something on that wall that's really pretty. Again, if you did go for a mirror, that would reflect it back, and that would look really good. Yeah, I mean, that, even if you don't sit there, it's a really pretty feature, and you've tied in the colours so well. You've got your theme of the red running through the pots and in the cloth there, and also on the sun lounger. So that's working really well. You've picked your main colour. So yeah, it's not going to take much. I mean, it's already looking fabulous, so we can just make it a bit more fabulous.
Thanks very much.
Yes. So Jane rushed out the very next day and started gathering trellis and bits and pieces for the walls, and here's what she's done so far. Now, she's going to send us the finished photographs later in the year, but as you can see, just rearranging the space and putting some items on the wall, it's made a tremendous difference. And if we go back to the before picture, you can see, you know, you've almost got a cluttery collection, albeit very nice plants, and then suddenly you put them together in a coherent way and it just makes a massive difference. So wonderful job, Jane. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the finished garden turns out, and thank you for sending us the update. Now, we've had a lot of requests for tips on balcony gardens, and that's not my main area of expertise, I must admit, but I do just happen to be somewhere where they do know a thing or two about them. I'm in a little village called Jimena de la Frontera in southern Spain, and on a good day you can just about see the Rock of Gibraltar, and they do wonderful balcony gardens. And what I've noticed is they seem to stack the plants so that there's not just one but through as many layers as they can physically get in place. Don't ask me how they see out their windows, I've no idea. But anyway, the other thing I've noticed is it keeps quite a limited colour palette, which is very effective because it makes the area look larger and coherent in the design, a bit like in Jane's roof terrace where the predominant colours were red and lime green. And also it seems that when one person makes an effort, the entire street do. And that's wonderful to see so much colour and greenery with people that have basically no garden at all. So I hope the villagers here have inspired you to do something with your balconies. And I also hope they haven't minded me photographing them all and showing you. So from the entire Successful Garden Design team, we really hope you've enjoyed this episode, and do let us know what you'd like to see in future ones. And if you'd like some more top tips on how to add the wow factor to your garden, I've created a cheat sheet that you can download and a short video tutorial that walks you through the top 5 things that you must do if you want to create a stunning garden. So head on over to successfulgardendesign.com/wow and you can download your cheat sheet there.